Good afternoon, Mondo Grimes from AMG and Associates.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. I appreciate it. It's awesome.
So you're one of our clients
Hmm.
and having an amazing journey together.
Yes.
And for that reason, I invited you to this conversation.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm excited to be here to talk about all the things you want to discuss with the journey, working together. So yeah. So I'm excited to be here.
So my first question is, what made you interested starting working with us?
First, interest was the idea of having someone to work with in regards to helping scale our business. Sometimes when you're inside it, you don't see all the things that you and your team can see, right? My team is too close to it. So in our early interactions and know one another, I said, wow, she sees our business from a different angle than what we can see. And I really appreciate her offerings. I see things differently. I've seen some new things that you uncovered with us. So it was really relieving, to be honest, because it felt like we weren't doing this by ourselves just from the inside. We had someone who was like, look, I'm new here. Let me tell you what I see as I'm coming towards you. And so it was very helpful and very interesting. And that's one of the main reasons why we wanted to engage.
Now, of course, the audience is curious. The reason you told why you wanted to work with us, but
Yeah.
what was the situation in your company when you started working with us?
Yeah, so we felt like we were always bootstrapping everything ourselves. We were pretty much an internal company. We didn't have a lot of outside vendors or outside relationships and partners that we worked with. So the idea of going out and finding a trustworthy organization, one that could execute and perform and follow through. So that was huge for us. Trust, obviously. I wanted a relationship. I didn't want it to be transactional only, right? I want to feel like there's someone that I trust, that I'm learning to be, even not just colleagues with, but even a friend with, right? And so maybe I'm different than a lot of people. I'm a very relational person. So for me, that was very important. And so we didn't have that before. We just had our internal operations. And so it was limited view on the scaling, like, okay, we want to get here, but all we can see is from the inside out, not outside in. So, we were like, all right, I think this is an asset. And then before the situation was even a lead generation is always a big deal, right? And trying to figure out who to talk to. And we have our ways and we did pretty well and we were fine, but we're like, there's a way to scale this, but where are we missing it? So like, but we can't see it because we're inside, we're too close. So having your organization come around us and say, hey, come over here, we can see something, you could possibly do this better, and really poke holes. And honestly, you have to be working with you and your team. You have to be willing to receive constructive criticism, accountability, because you guys don't pull punches. You're very diplomatic, very professional, but you're going to speak the truth and how it is, and you're not going to hold back. And that's been very helpful, very, very helpful. So it actually makes me laugh because earlier on, you would come at me certain ways and I would just crack up laughing. I'm like, I like this lady. She's she's giving it to me straight. So
We
yeah.
had so much fun when we
Yeah,
started our
we did.
process.
We did.
Well, that was truly the baseline. And since then, your business has grown so much with the AI
Mhm.
nurture
Yeah.
acquisition system we built around your business.
Yes, that's true. And we've met so many great people, great clients. Our pipeline is extremely full. I mean, almost to the point where we're like, man, we need help handling what's happening. So it's like a flood. But it's been a lot of learning as far as us getting used to a new system, which we have found to be extremely efficient, very effective. And that's another part. I think when you bring someone in, like we brought you all in, you have to be open and willing to adjust systems and do things in a different way than what you may be used to, right? Be open. And we were, and we are, right? Which is why our pipelines are full, which is why it's, I would say, borderline overwhelming as far as the people that we're meeting, constantly busy, calendars constantly building and dinging, so it's been phenomenal in that regard. We're still in the learning process. We're on the backside of it, right? Of our relationship as far as just really, we found our flow, but we're always tweaking, we're always analyzing. So it's been phenomenal.
And also during the process, you're now really focusing and getting the leads in of ideal clients. So you're
Yeah.
not
Oh gosh.
scattered for leads anymore, correct?
1000%. Yes. We are not all over the place. It's very consistent on the type, our avatar, if you will. It's very consistent on who we're speaking with, where our system before we met you it was scattered, to your point. We had a little nickname for it, right? It was very scattered, right? All over the place. And you kind of never know what you're going to get, like that box of chocolates. You just never know what you're grabbing, right? And here, it is your favorite piece of chocolate in every little compartment. Like every time we meet with someone, this is someone who's awesome. Male, female, great individuals, our perfect avatar that we've identified. And we've made some great relationships and great clients through the process. It's been awesome.
That is great to hear. And it's really likewise. We love working with your team and and we
Oh,
see the growth
yeah.
of your team. I mean, the internal processes, team members are growing as well. We can see you're
Hmm.
scaling your company.
Yeah, that's right. We have 2 new hires that are in process, so which is great because we need them. And part of the reason why we need them is business growth support. That's part of the reason why we because, we were growing and we're like, oh man, that's not enough of us to handle this. So we need to get some more hands on deck here, and we've been able to do that and identify 2 new advisors. So we're excited.
I'm so happy and grateful to hear this. So there's a big impact on your business and workflow so far because of our
Yes.
relationship.
Yes, 1000% true. That's absolutely true. I can't, express how grateful we are. So, yeah, growth, learning, definitely expanding our processes in our systems. Oh, it's been great. Nothing short of great.
Thank you so much for your words, Mondo.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for all you do.